Welcome, everybody. The college football regular season is over, which means it's time for college football conference championship week. I'm Joe at the Game House, and today we're going to be going over 5 things to watch in conference championship week. We're in the last week of this video. We have the 5 things to watch in conference championship week. As a reminder, we'll have some games to watch, some matchups to watch as we go along. Just gives more creative freedom as we go along. We'll start off with number one. We have Oregon versus Washington rematch. Might be a little bit different game than the last time these two teams played. We have Oregon and Washington in Las Vegas for the Pac-12 championship game. Ducks are 11-1, with their only loss being to Washington on the road. Washington's undefeated. Winner of this game is almost guaranteed to be in the college football playoff, just based on how the committee has ranked them this whole year. Oregon, if they do win, could be in a little bit more of a compromising spot than Washington, who's been undefeated, obviously. Last matchup, Michael Penix and Washington's offense was able to really push the ball vertically against Oregon and outscore them, had some clutch and timely throws. Since that point, the offense has struggled, and the defense has had to cover up in some games against maybe some inferior competition. But they're getting the job done, still undefeated. Oregon side, they've looked great since they lost to Washington. They've probably arguably looked like one of the top 4 teams in the country based on the eye test. A win in this game can help them show they belong in the playoff. They're actually favored in this game by 9 points currently, so something to watch there. It's a little bit of a larger spread, but I would take Washington with the points. So I do think Oregon probably wins this game. Neutral field. You got just a better team on both sides of the ball. Just the last several weeks, Washington's had some real issues. So we'll go Oregon to win that one. We'll keep it going. Let's go to Kirby and Saban again in the SEC championship. The last few years, Alabama and Georgia have been kind of battling each other to see who's the best team in the SEC. Georgia's won most of the recent matchups and are now back-to-back rating champions. Alabama still played well during that time. They won the national championship right before Georgia won theirs on their streak. With Nick Saban versus his former assistant, there's plenty of storylines here. Alabama started the year off slowly, would seem to figure things out. Georgia, similar, especially with their offense, really had some speed bumps as they went along, but Carson Beck developed and was able to make some big plays with his arm. And for Alabama, too, Jalen Milroe with his arm and his legs has become one of the most biggest playmakers in the sport of college football. Winner of the game is headed to the college football playoff and will have a great shot of winning the whole thing. There's a lot of debates that could happen. If Georgia doesn't win this game, Alabama does beat them. Do both teams get in? How does it all work? How many teams are undefeated at that point? It's going to be a lot of fun to see what's going to happen this week because of all the scenarios that could end up being on the committee's plate this week. Florida State versus Louisville. So Florida State's undefeated, but they've had some tough times recently. Jordan Travis gets hurt against North Alabama. Tate Rodmaker steps in, helps them beat North Alabama. They beat Florida, who was also without their starting quarterback. So they're able to win out, but they looked shaky doing so. With a win, they get into the CFP almost assuredly. You can't leave an undefeated team out, even if their starting quarterback's out. But they could have a competitive game against Louisville. It's not like a for sure thing they win. The spread's, I think, 3.5 as we're currently sitting here, right around there. Cardinals are one of the best stories in college football. Jeff Brom got 10 wins in his first year. Head coach of the alma mater. They're in the ACC championship. Suffered a tough loss to Kentucky last week, but still have plenty to play for with the New Year's Six Bowl still on the table. Even if they lose, they might still make the Orange Bowl, so just something to watch out for there. Win by Louisville would really shake things up for the committee again. So we're just watching all these scenarios happen live and see what could happen for these teams for the college football playoff. Can Texas put up style points? Texas suffered a loss to Oklahoma this season, but otherwise unblemished. Now in the Big 12 championship game against Oklahoma State, a team that didn't play in the regular season because Big 12 has too many teams to do a true round robin. With teams ahead of them in the rankings, Texas will look to put up style points and win the game to make their case for the CFP. What's going to make it tough is Oklahoma State. They get up for big games, so they have losses to South Alabama, Iowa State, and UCF, but they also have wins over Kansas State, and Oklahoma. So could they do that again to send Texas out of the Big 12 with a loss? Oklahoma State's going to focus on running the ball with Ollie Gordon, one of the best running backs in the country, probably going to be a household name next year if he isn't already this year. And they're going to try to control the clock and send them home with a loss. So we'll see what happens there. I think it could be good, but Texas does need to get some style points if they want to move up the rankings and be ranked ahead of like Oregon, or if they end up beating Washington or some of these other teams as well. Group of 5 conference case for the New Year's Six Bowl game. There's actually a couple here. So we have Liberty's undefeated. They're actually ranked lower than Tulane right now. We're going to get Tulane in a second. Undefeated. If they win this USA Championship game against New Mexico State, who's a 10-win team, that helps them as well. The Flames have been fueled by a high-scoring offense that leads the country in rushing. Jamie Chadwell's first season. It's a good situation to be in, but they might need some help because Tulane's ranked higher. So Tulane's in the AAC Championship game. Their only loss this season was to Ole Miss. And if they win this game against SMU, it could mean that they're pretty much solidified to be that New Year's Six team for the second straight year. Willie Fritz would have some pretty good job offers after the season if they're able to do that and get the New Year's Six bid. If both teams lose, Toledo and Troy are ones to watch. Toledo has one loss on the season. That was to Illinois. Troy's had a pretty good year with 2 losses. Probably doesn't get in. I think it's down to Toledo, Liberty, and Tulane. And I still think Tulane would probably get in if both teams lose. Even if Toledo won, it'd be very dicey at that point. So just a lot to watch. There were a lot at stake this weekend, obviously, as there should be in Conference Championship Week. So those are the 5 things I'm watching this week. Let me know what you're watching down in the comments below. For now, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.